here, TK and Drinks, and it's a special Saturday edition. I know we usually do these things on Wednesdays, but today we got a special one all the way from Norway. We're going to be speaking with Marius Luktu. I believe that he'll pronounce me, give me a proper pronunciation for his name as soon as he joins. We just tried to do this a little bit ago, but we had some issues where we couldn't get a video connection. We could hear some audio, but couldn't get a video stream. So hopefully he'll be back on here shortly. Does look like we got some people popping in. There we go. So, looks like he's already sent the request over. Let's see if he... Fingers crossed. Marlobobo sent you a request to join. Yes. Yes! Success!
I can't see you though, but that's okay.
Oh, are you sure we can try one more time? Third time's always a charm.
Yeah, it's okay for me.
If you're okay, then I say let's go with it.
That's weird.
Uh-oh, what's happening?
No, just weird that you could see me now, but I can't see you.
Oh, yeah, it does this from time to time with me. I've had it happen. Uh-oh. It looks like our buddy Matt Carroll would like to join us from Funktastic Mead. Should we bring him in for a second?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's see what Matt's got to say. Here's the whole reason that this is even happening, because he's the one who put me on to your Norwalien Bliss.
Nice.
Yes. Hey, what's going on, Matt?
I can see both of you with no problem.
Just me having technical issues here then.
Can you see Matt at least?
Yeah, I can see Matt.
Yeah,
oh, okay, good.
I can run the interview, TK. You just let me know and I'll ask the question.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll just third party this whole thing. I love it.
All right, guys. We're celebrating our 2nd year anniversary. I just wanted to say hello. Yeah. Marius, TK is a good dude, so I'm sure he'll have some very difficult questions for you.
Congrats on the anniversary, Matt. I actually have a bottle from here.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's
a first coffee.
Cinnamon roll with a coffee drizzle.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that one.
I'm gonna drink that tonight.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Have a good one, Matt. Bye. There we go. So, yeah. So thanks to Matt for hooking us up and everything like that. So, like I said, the first time I'd seen one of your bottles, I was over at his place, and he waxed prolific about your guys' style and everything. So I started looking up your meadery and everything's going on, and I'm a huge fan of everything I see. If you want to introduce yourself really quick to those who may not know who you are and give us a little background on Marlobobo, that would be awesome.
Yeah. First off, thanks for inviting me to the.
Absolutely.
I'm Marius from Marlobobo, Norwegian meadery. I'm the co-owner together with Geir, which is actually my ex-girlfriend's father. We started homebrewing together in 2014. Started pretty quickly working with a lot of fruit, as we live in the countryside where we have so much good fruit available to us. And
nice.
So in the beginning, we made beers, a lot of fruited sours, a lot of mixed fermentation beers. And after going to MBCC every year, we met Jeff and Jen from Superstition.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were hooked. So then we started reading up on Mead and, started playing around with it. And more and more of our homebrews became meads instead of beers. And and then at some point we just ended up going commercial.
Yeah, that's kind of how it seems to be. You just start homebrewing one day, and then next thing you know, you're looking at applying for a license.
Yeah.
Now, does your guys' license allow you guys to do beer and mead, or you can only do mead?
In Norway, you can actually do almost everything except liquor on the same license, which is really good. Yeah. So we do meads and we do ciders, like fruited ciders, fruit pet nuts, and then we also do beers, which we mostly contract brew at the local brewery, or they're like 20 minutes away. And we're starting to make more and more barrel-aged beers as well. And since which we will probably talk about later, we recently moved into a new location, which makes us able to also take on a lot of the barrel-aged beers as well ourselves in that location.
Yeah, because you have a larger footprint to hold all that stuff.
Yeah, we now have a warehouse where we can put a lot of barrels. Before we had last location, we could barely move at the end, and yeah.
Well, that's good that you guys have a new location. I think the first time I'd reached out to you, you were in the process of moving and all that stuff. So I completely understand that I understand that must have been a very stressful time trying to find a spot. I know that's always a problem here with zoning and different restrictions on where you can and can't have meaderies or production facilities and stuff. Is that something you had to go with or deal with?
We were fairly lucky in terms of our current location, and because someone in my family was building a building for us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they were setting up a 650 square meters building, and then we were able to design everything inside it to our needs. Which is extremely lucky.
Yeah, so I've been looking online. You guys have it looks to be, like you're saying, pretty darn large. How many fermenters do you guys have in there? Or how many tanks, I should say? You guys have a ton of new room.
Yeah, I think we have around 20 tanks. Everything from 300 liters, 500, 600, and 1,100 liters, or just one big one at the moment, actually.
So 1,100. So that's about like 300, a little over 300 gallons. Those are some decent sized tanks.
Yeah, but the reason we have so many tanks instead of like 6 bigger ones is because we do banana mead crew. Sorry.
No.
We do a lot of we work with a lot of variety fruits, and we're kind of blend focused. So
yes,
usually we make like every fruit variety in a separate fermenter, and then we blend it at the end. So very few of our meads containing more than one fruit has been made from scratch in one tank.
Gotcha. And that was actually one of the things that interested me is your guys' blending. When I was reading about now, is it pronounced Stevensberry?
Almost Stenvsberry.
Stevsberry.
Yeah.
That is this whole line is nothing but blended. You said it's small batches all blended together in like a cuvee or until you get the proper mix that you want for that. I love that style of thinking and acting as opposed to, like you were saying, just doing everything all in one big pot and mixing it up.
Yeah, it's a bit, it's two reasons to it. It's a bit of a necessity since we operate a bit like a winery does, that we are basing our production around the harvest season, basically spending all of our money in the summer months, buying all the fruit we can get, harvesting all the fruit we can get, and buying local honey.
Yeah.
And, since not every fruit is mature or ripe at the same time, we have to, if we know that we want to make a raspberry and cherry mead, raspberry and cherries won't come into our production location at the same time. So we couldn't put them both in the same fermenter.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. There's a lot of people here in America that just go to the store and buy all their fruit. So it's, pretty much just available, say, year round. But you're, like you said, picking all your stuff local by hand a lot of times, I'm seeing.
A lot by hand. And then we also, for cherries, we work with a local cherry orchard 15 minutes away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Usually machine harvest everything, but then we have like extensive sorting process when we get the cherries in house.
Yeah, I was watching you had a video on that you guys had posted of you guys sorting through those cherries. It's these giant bins. I'm sure all the American mead makers are just drooling over there because they can't get those cherries here.
Oh, the cherries are really, really good. We're so lucky to be so close to them. And as I'm aware, it's just 2 orchards in Norway that has them.
Holy cow. That is even more impressive that you can get your hands on them.
Yeah, I'm lucky that my hometown where we are resided actually
Is one of
has
those.
an orchard.
I think that's lucky for you. I think it's more lucky for everybody else because they get to experience it. Now, obviously, unfortunately, you can't see, but I'm holding up a bottle of the 21 Free Jazz. The crappy juice is even good, says Matt. I love it. So I got 4 bottles here to choose from. I want to get into at least 2 or 3 of them while we're online together. So I've got the Stenvsberry Free Jazz, the 21. I've got the Oceans Between Us collab with Funktastic Meads, and then I've got Norwalien Bliss, and then the Fanal Select.
Cool.
So
Which one?
I think I'm gonna. Well, I want to start with the Norwalien Bliss because that's the one that I had first had. That of your guys' stuff ever. So I fell in love with the blueberry profile on this. It's has such a unique softness and like this velvety smooth texture that I've never really had from many other meads. I can't say none other meads, but no other meads that I've had recently for lack of a better term. So this one Matt sent me out of his personal private collection. Probably should give it a quick shake. It's been sitting on its side for a minute. But this was just the last little bit in there. He topped it off with some CO2 and then shipped it out. So it's nice and safe. I mean, look at the color on that is just absolutely amazing. And it has, again, even you can see the velvety texture of it in the liquid. It doesn't have this traditional hazy type of look like it's, murky or anything. It just has this wonderful like raw juice texture to it almost. And this one, so this is the Norwalien Bliss. So it's made with meadowsweet. Now I hadn't seen a lot of American meaderies use meadowsweet. How do you guys incorporate that in there?
It's like a plant or a herb. So we pick them and then we make a syrup out of the flowers.
Okay, that makes sense. And then back sweeten with it.
Yeah, basically. We have also used it almost like it dried up the mead with it before as well, but it's so hard to separate and it makes a mess. And I mean, you also want them to be fairly. It's safer to make a syrup out of it in terms of we are heat or pasteurizing it basically.
I got you. And this one says it has vanilla. Where do you guys source your vanilla beans from?
A couple of different places, but we buy a lot of Ugandan vanilla beans, which we love. We buy them from.
I guess Africa's significantly closer, so it's probably pretty easy to get vanilla beans from Uganda.
Yeah, maybe. We just know a company that works with what is it called? Fair trade Ugandan vanilla beans. And yeah, they have helped us out getting really good beans for a while. But then we also use some other sources for Madagascar vanilla as well. And sometimes we blend them.
I don't, there's no doubt in my mind that you guys blend almost everything you get. It seems to be the science of your guys' business, which again I think is really cool because it's not something you see a whole lot of in America. A lot of it is, I guess, prowess and finesse and being able to do everything all at in the front end and then rest it on it and just have whatever that one initial liquid became. I like the idea of blending it. It's definitely, I think, the route I'm going to go when I start doing things on a larger scale. Is there
Yeah,
something that someone that inspired you to go that route, or is it something that you've just kind of, something you wanted to do when you opened your place?
I think we were inspired by typical lambic blenders and wineries. I don't know of too many meaderies doing it, so I don't
No.
think we were inspired by a lot of meaderies for the stuff we do, like Superstition, as I mentioned, of course, and
Yeah.
Shram's Pips and Standard. Adam at Standard is a
Yeah.
great guy, and yeah.
I got you.
But
And that makes sense.
yeah, we decided pretty early on that we wanted to do blending because you have so much more control over the final product, and
Yeah.
I guess we realized a bit later that it actually was like pretty natural for us, since we also wanted to focus on local ingredients.
No, I like that. There's a lot of places around in America that try to focus on local ingredients. When they say local, it typically means um, regional at the best. It could be a state or two, or a small group of states. But I mean, when you're talking regional or local, you're talking like almost if you can't walk there, you're not picking up these ingredients most of the time.
A lot of them, and most of them are like that. But we also get some both fruit and honey
Sure.
a bit further away as we have been growing. But it's like you can drive there in 90 minutes, basically. That's like going.
Right. I mean that. Yeah.
That's the furthest away we are getting our ingredients.
That is hyper local. So I mean, when people are tasting your meads and your products, I mean, they're truly getting a taste of the products of your region, of your area. This is what it tastes like where I'm at, and I love that.
Yeah.
I think that again, that's highly inspirational.
Thank you, and especially the mead you're drinking now, Norwalien Bliss.
Yeah.
When we made that, we were at a different location, but we sourced those wild blueberries in the forest, like 15, 20 minutes away from the where the meadery was currently at, and the honey was like 10 minutes away from the meadery.
And I love your guys' artwork on your bottles too. I mean, this is some of the funkiest, coolest, most unique artwork I've seen. You certainly have a vibe of your own. When you see a bottle, you can definitely know it's a Marlobobo bottle.
Thank you. That's
Is it?
let's say again.
I was going to say, did you leave the creativity up to the artist and just give them free reign, or is it something that you have done, or how did that artwork design style come to be? Again, I'm in love with it.
I mean, it's always a lot of communication back and forth, because we have an idea about what the product is going to be, but
Right.
Our artist Øyvind Horvei, he usually gets like, I will write a list of products I need labels for, what they're all about, and the notes from me, and then he will have total freedom, and also sometimes he will come up with some names, either if I haven't come up with them, or if I already come up with a name, he can also add suggestions, and we will together figure out what works the best. So
I gotcha.
it's usually a lot of back and forth before one label is done.
All right. Well, so I just finished that blueberry one. Again, that is probably in my top 3 favorite meads of all time at any given moment. That is phenomenal. Is it something you guys said that was a specific one from your previous location? Do you plan on doing like a B2 for that, or is it pretty much do a lot of one and dones with your stuff?
We will always revisit stuff, but not necessarily every year. And actually today we bottled a product called Norwalien Nouveau, which is a carbonic macerated wild blueberry mead.
Yeah.
So it's basically almost the same base as this one, just that it's carbonic macerated, so lighter on the tannin and really juicy.
Well, that was something else I wanted to ask you about was the carbonic maceration.
Yeah.
So that, from what I understand, it's something I'm vaguely familiar with. You stick all the fruit inside of a container, pump it full of CO2, and purge all the oxygen out, and it causes the fruit to start to ferment from the inside out.
Yeah, you will start an enzymatic fermentation inside the berries.
And is that something that you guys have need special capability for? Again, it's not something I've seen a lot here in America, so I'm vaguely unfamiliar with it, and I don't follow a lot of wineries either, to be fair.
It's very normal in the wine industry, and especially in terms of Beaujolais red wines. If you've ever had those, from Morgon wines and stuff like that.
I have not.
And
I'm an uneducated rube.
And it looks like a lot of sour beer producers are also starting to carbonic macerate as well. Just gives a really tasty and smooth fruit profile.
And I wonder if that's the smoothness and the uniqueness in your mead that I'm tasting. So you do these carbonic macerations, and you do a lot of spontaneous fermentations, don't you, as well?
Yeah, we do quite a lot, actually. I think you have the Stenvsberry Free Jazz that you have on your counter is spontaneously fermented, and also the Fanal Select is also spontaneous.
Yeah, and that's the one I just cracked open. So this one says spontaneous fermented cherry. So this is a Fanal cherry. I'm not sure I've had those either.
No.
Hand-picked at the perfection of ripeness. 14 days of skin contact. I like that. You constantly mention the skin contact. What do you guys try to account for the tannin level that way? Is there a specific formula that you guys are doing for the amount of days that you're putting in there? Because you make it.
It's basically just
a constant point to put you always have it on your bottle. So I was just curious as what part it plays in your process.
It's just in terms of the tannin level we want in the product, and I mean tannin, flavor, and color. Basically, we will. And also fermentation speed. Sometimes we would maybe want to have more days of skin contact, but the fermentation is going too quickly, and then it will be shorter than intended. But basically, it will. We like that it tells something about, how much extraction you have gotten. We have done some. Like 60 days skin contact cherry meats, like really small batch, and Stenvsberry Free Jazz is always like a blend of different vinification methods. So maybe like one part of Stenvsberry Free Jazz 2021 is carbonic macerated. One is like normally spontaneously fermented with let's say 30 days of skin contact, and maybe we had another thread that had 60 days.
Okay.
And all of those will give different profiles that you can blend into a final product, and then you can control the flavor, the tannin level, and the color as well.
Yeah. So the Fanal Select is phenomenal. It has this just wonderful, deep, earthy, dark berry, cherry, like almost a natural juice. It doesn't even taste like there's any fermentation to it at all. And then you get this subtle wave that the tannins just kind of subtly appear on your palate. There's a very hint of astringency in the back that builds the more you sip on it. I mean, this thing feels like it was put together with definitely a lot of love and attention and care. And one thing I'm trying to show the viewers is the legs and the body on this thing are just outrageous. I mean, I love objectifying my meads by staring at their legs, and this thing is just beautiful. Do you add any extra body enhancing things like OptiReds or anything like that, or is this all just from the process?
I think we had some OptiRed and some fermentation tannins in that one.
Okay.
Pretty light, like on that specific product, not a lot.
Sure.
We play around with different stuff, but the spontaneously fermented ones, and especially the Select series, where we only select the perfectly ripened fruit.
Right.
So basically, we are bringing in what was I gonna say? The machine harvested cherries.
Yeah.
Let's say we are getting 400 kilos of Fanal Select. Then we will maybe use 200 kilos of the best ones we can find for this product, and we will actually go through and look at every single berry.
Talk about quality control. Holy cow.
But we are just making one of those products each year.
No.
Because it takes so much time. It's stupid.
It said it takes so much time. It's stupid. I love it. No, and again, you can taste the quality and the care and the love and the perfection in there. Again, this is one of my major complaints with meaderies and stuff. Is a lot of people, I feel, settle for good enough. Not to say that everybody needs to go to the lengths of hand picking through 400 kilos of cherries to get the very best ones. Although I and many other people do appreciate the effort you guys go through for that. I think a lot of people settle for good enough. It's good. The grocery store honey is good enough. The subpar fruit is good enough because it'll get me something. Do you feel that there's a lot of people out there, or there's an area for improvement in the mead community as a whole, for higher quality ingredients and just a higher standard of production value?
Good question. I've had a lot of good meads, both from the US and Europe.
Sure.
I guess when I look at forums and stuff like that, it doesn't seem to, or for me, it's very important to work with unpasteurized ingredients, or for us, Marlobobo, it is. And I think that gives a lot to the final product. As long as you keep the freshness in there and it's not oxidizing throughout the production processes, you will get a lot more balance by having a bright fruit character, balancing with sweet honey, compared to if you're starting out with pasteurized ingredients, then it can be harder for it to have that brightness, to feel lively, I guess.
I hear you.
But I don't know. Shramps are doing insane stuff with fruit.
But you guys are like the exception. There's a lot, at least here in America, maybe not so much in Europe. Maybe I didn't convey what the message I was trying to get across. Like people like you in Shramps specifically, a lot of people say that's they're doing too much, so to speak. The meads are too expensive. They're putting too much effort and energy into it. They're making a big show out of it. Why do something like that and charge the types of prices that they do for their meads when you can go to the grocery store, get raspberries and get honey and get some bread yeast and make it yourself at home and have a raspberry mellow that's just as quote unquote just as good. There's a lot of people that have that mentality and say people like me are super snobby for having the attitudes that I do, and I take it in stride.
I don't agree with that. Raspberries from the grocery stores can be really good, but usually they're picked unripe on the bushes or on the plants, and then they are ripening in the stores, basically, or in big storage areas. But the flavor won't be the same when they're ripening off the bush, basically.
Right.
So I think, the difference can be extremely big, to be honest. Just focusing on the fruit and also good quality honey, of course.
Yeah, definitely. I think good quality honey is the big thing, especially for mead. The honey being the prime ingredient. I think you can get away with some other, like you're saying, grocery store raspberries can be good. You're probably not going to get the flavor you would with wild raspberries or something like that. But there are some areas where you have to do some give and take because if you live somewhere like where you're at, you might not necessarily be able to get, say you want to do something with citrus, can't necessarily grow citrus there, so you have to make those compromises.
Yeah, and I mean for home brewers especially, or home mead makers, I mean it can be good, practicing on fermentation practices and stuff like that. With then you don't need to use the most expensive stuff until you have the fermentation practices down.
Agreed.
But in my opinion, you need good ingredients to make, or good ingredients makes good mead, in my opinion.
Is it Bomba says, I think tasting a Schram's or a Marlobobo is worth every penny. And I personally agree that, you get what you pay for, and the quality of mead that, people like you and Schram's make is worth every bit of the pennies. So, how do you keep your, we had a question come in from Nemetin Brewing. Says, how do you keep your meads from spoiling when you don't pasteurize your stuff? I'm assuming sulfites.
Yeah, so we usually use sulfites in everything. We're pretty, we have a Vinmetrica, and we will dial in the levels in terms of pH and everything that affects how much sulfites you need to avoid oxidation and microbial contamination or growth. And in some products, we only use sulfites, and in some other products, we also use some sorbates to be sure that it won't start re-fermenting.
Gotcha. And I think that's fairly standard across the industry.
It is. Especially when you're blending, like let's say you're blending 3 meads, like right before you're bottling it, you never really know if it's going to start re-fermenting,
right?
Unless it's at least a huge risk.
Oh, always a huge risk. One of the things that I was, as I was scrolling through your Instagram account, is I saw you have a post called Grandpa Waxing, and it caught my attention. And it was Grandpa hand waxing and dipping bottles. Is that your business partner, or is that your grandfather?
That is my grandfather, but it's actually the guy that has that owns the building we just moved into.
Oh, okay. And he was hand dipping all those bottles. He had like a little hand squeezer, was capping them all out. That's some love and attention he was putting on there. He wanted to make sure he got them just right for your customers.
Yeah, we wax a lot of our bottles, and it's always me and my grandfather doing it together. all the
that's
bottles.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I love the uniformness of the wax on there. I'm showing the one from the Fanal Select with that lavender wax on there. It is uniform across the bottom. It's even. It's distribution and coating. I mean, that's legit for wax job.
Thank you. He's doing a great job.
Nice.
But
and it's a good wax that's easy to get off too. I agree.
Yeah. That was important. The first bottle we ever waxed had a shitty wax, and never again.
Yeah, I had one I was trying to get through the other day, and I felt like I'm using my key here, and I felt like this little saw on there was nothing. It was just disrespecting the shit out of it. It took me like 20 minutes to get it off of there. It was terrible.
But what I feel not that many know is that when you have a wine cork below the wax, you can just screw through it and open the bottle like normally, and it will pop off perfectly.
Yeah, these ones unfortunately were capped ones, beer bottle capped, so did not get that luxury, unfortunately.
But
Um,
we are really lucky. When we were talking about the select and hand selecting berries and doing all the sorting of all the cherries we are getting each summer, we have so many friends and family that always help out.
yeah,
Today we bottled 1,000 bottles, and we
whoa,
were, I think we were 5 people. Me, Geir, my co-owner, Geir's wife, and my grandfather, and my grandmother.
okay, so 5 people, 1,000 bottles. That probably took you a few hours, I'm sure.
It takes quite a lot of time. I mean,
Yeah.
the bottling doesn't take a lot of time, but the prep and the cleaning afterwards
Oh
takes a
yeah,
lot of time. Yeah.
yeah. I work at a place making vinegar and stuff, and we have to same thing. We have a 200 ml bottle line that we do, and once you get it going, it goes fairly quickly. But like you said, the setup process and the breakdown process and the cleaning seem to take 2/3 or more than 2/3 of the time if you consider each a third, a setup, a production, and a thing. They definitely take up more than their fair share of time.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess for olive oil, you need to clean very good in terms of how sticky it is.
Yes.
Or
So
oily, of course.
I'm getting ready to open this bottle of the Free Jazz,
I
and
actually have that as well today.
oh, which vintage is that one?
I brought the same one.
The 21?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Sorry, the bottle looked different. The label looked different on your end. Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna crack that open if you want to. Oh, we got a question that came in here as well. Let me get to that real quick. So we did get the opportunity it's from the same person at Nemetten Brewing. We did get the opportunity to taste your meads at Billy's Craft Beer Fest in Antwerp. It was a great experience. Would like to contact you for some of your meads to taste. How can they get in touch? So yeah, what's the best way people can get your meads if they're over there in the EU?
We are not doing direct sales at the moment.
Okay.
It's hard to do direct sales from Norway because we have very strict alcohol laws in terms of sales and advertising. Or basically, all information is seen as advertising.
Okay.
So yeah, but we work with wholesalers in a lot of the different countries in the EU, and in Belgium we work with Dicagni. They have our products, and we also have all of our products at beerdome.eu, which is a really good beer store in Netherlands, but they ship to all of Europe.
Okay. Now that's got to be pretty nice, being able to have an account that can ship your stuff, significantly farther than you guys are able to, and that's really unfortunate that they have those laws where you guys aren't allowed to do direct to consumer, because that is actually one thing that's beneficial here in America, is that meaderies do have the ability to direct to consumer where breweries do not. I mean,
Yeah.
they have some limited ability, but not like wineries and meaderies do. Oh, what's up, Will? So I've got so the Stenvsberry Free Jazz. I just cracked this one open. This thing is hitting me straight off with a wonderfully, delightfully, almost like I haven't poured it yet. It's almost like bubble gum on the nose, like a.
It's funny that you say that because that's the carbonic maceration.
Is the bubble gum smell?
Yeah, it can throw a bit of bubblegum notes.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Trust me, I like it. It has again like a unique sweet. It's a very unique type of bubblegum, very specific too. But I like it. I'm here for it. And one thing also is your product stains the glass so quickly. It just leaches down there. It's a testament to how much fruit you guys put in there. Do you have a certain amount of kilos per liter or pounds per gallon, or a volume that you try to, a range you try to stick with when you're making your mellow melts?
The fruits are always the base of our mellow mels. So we don't use any water, only fruit and honey, basically.
No additional water added. Like obviously the water that's in the fruits and stuff, but no additional water.
No, very rarely
Gotcha.
any additional. Yeah. So
very cool.
Basically, the fruit will decide how much honey we need, basically.
And what type of yeast do you guys use for this? Is there a specific like hearty yeast that you use to get through all that sugar, or do you use like your standard yeast that everybody's using?
We use a lot of different yeasts. This one is spontaneously fermented, so only the yeast on the cherries has fermented it. So no
man, yeah, I just
product.
This one is all spontaneous fermentation, natural fermentation.
Yeah. So we make the Stenvsberry Free Jazz every year since like Stenvsberry cherries, the variety of stems or the variety that is called stems. Or like really tiny cherries, almost only stones or pits, and just a little bit flesh and juice before you get like a really hard, really dark skin at the end. So they are really flavorful, really high sugar and acid levels, but obviously have very low yield of juice. But we have always found that the variety is so special, so that's the thing we are buying the most of each year, making a lot of different products. But the Free Jazz series, they always try to play around with different vinification methods. So in this one, the vintage 2021, we ended up, everything is spontaneously fermented, but maybe one thread, in this case, has 11 days of skin contact before we just use the free run juice. We don't press it. We just take the juice that naturally drains from the fruit.
That's insane. That seems like such a waste. And I'm sure you do something with the pressed fruit and stuff, and you don't just throw it away.
Yeah, we make cider.
That's so delicious.
And then one thread is carbonic macerated, and then we had one thread that is cold soak, where you basically macerate the cherries cold for a couple of days, so you extract color, flavor, but you get very soft tannins.
Yeah.
And then we had the small thread on oak spirals as well.
Yeah, the complexity and depth of this thing is outrageous. I'm not sure I've had anything quite from the mead world that's quite this unique and robust. Again, I'm not a big wine drinker, but this definitely seems like it drinks much more like a red or like a Cabernet or something than, not on sweetness level. Obviously, the sweetness level is significantly higher than that, but it's very well balanced. Again, very soft tannins. It's a theme I'm picking up across your guys' products, is this soft tannin profile. It builds the more you drink it. I come across so many meads that the balance of tannic to acid to sweetness profile isn't where I would prefer it to be for me as a drinker. But your stuff, it's nice. The more I drink it, the more it builds. If I want to, take a little smaller sip, it doesn't build as much. It seems like it was very well thought out and well put together. Do you have a quality team, so to speak, that you go through, or is it everybody involved just kind of helps put their ideas in? How do you select what goes into the final product?
It's basically just me and Guide tasting everything throughout the process, writing notes. And then at the end, when everything is finished, we will have an idea about what we were planning to do, try some extra ideas, or maybe things have changed since the last time we tasted them. We'll just play around doing multiple mini blends and taste them. And that's basically how it goes. So
So when you're blending these batches, if you have smaller, let's say, I don't, each batch is say a different volume. You have of your 4 different threads that you have for this one. Say one is X amount YZ. All the way across. You make a smaller. You say do it in like a 200 milliliter sample, and then try to science up. How many liters you use, milliliters, and then jump it up and scale it up from there.
Yeah, basically, or just like usually the base. The base for this product is always like the normal spontaneously fermented mead with X amount of skin contact, where we punch down or pump over twice a day at least to make sure you get good extraction and healthy fermentation. But then that usually happens in a big tank. But then we also maybe just make some smaller ones in like 30 or 60 liter vessels or tanks.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we are, after fermentation, we just have a lot of things to play around with to create what we think is a cherry mead with extra depth, or at least something we wanted to create that year that we found interesting. It's like our playground.
I love that term. It's our playground.
I forgot your question, but now I remembered it again. Yes. So we basically, maybe we have 2 threads that we know these 2 will work good together, but you're lacking some, so something in the mid palate or some acidity or some softness, or and then you have other threads that can solve that problem.
I like using them against each other in the best ways possible. Using one's let's say they flaws, but one's characteristics that you weren't the biggest fan of, and doctor it up with something else and creating something that's greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to drink the small portion we made with French oak spirals, because that tasted like tannin juice. Oh, basically.
Yeah. but you didn't think. See, that's something like here in America. Something like that here in America. Some people would think, oh, I've made tannin juice, so they would just drain pour it or something like that. But to intentionally make it with the foresight of I'm going to use this to blend later. There's very few people that I've talked to anyway that have that type of foresight and willingness to keep something around for its potential later on. A lot of people get too impatient and either drink it or drain pour it because they don't want to keep it around. So again, kudos to you guys for doing that. It's a huge inspiration.
Oh, thank you. We usually almost save everything, even things we think won't make it. I mean, worst case, you can make a syrup out of it or something.
Turn it into vinegar.
I mean, you can always, or vinegar. Yeah, definitely. So
I love it.
Yeah, we're trying to not throw anything down the drain, but also never release anything we don't think is really good.
And I'm here for that too. I think that's again, like I said, it's an inspiration and it's a phenomenal way to go about things. A couple of things I wanted to touch on before we get away, before I get them out of my mind. There's a lot of people asking if there's a chance that you are going to come to Sugar Belt. Are you familiar with what Sugar Belt is, the Mead Festival here in America?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, there are people that are asking if Marlobobo would ever have a booth there or want to come out and have a booth, because can certainly Matt and I can certainly put you in touch with the people to make that happen if that was something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, definitely. I think would be fun to take a trip to the US and do that festival and visit some friends in the industry and meet you.
Oh,
And yeah,
yeah. Last year I got to meet Martin from Tuber Meadery, and
yeah,
he lives in Denmark.
from he lives in Netherlands.
Oh, in the Netherlands, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got to meet him and have some of his mead. What a phenomenal person, and again, a phenomenal mead maker. Holy cow!
yeah. People should watch out for Tuber. They're making good stuff, and Martin is a great guy. I met
Yeah,
him at we were doing a festival in the Netherlands a couple of months ago
yeah,
called Wild Bear Festival Groningen.
yes.
And he was pouring some, I think it was Magnum bottles or double Magnum, and people went crazy.
Holy cow, that would be impressive to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures of the festivals you guys were at. It looked like one hell of a party. I'll tell you what. You guys know how to get down out there.
It's always fun to serve meat. It's people seem to love it. That's
Yeah,
that's say
here's a
yeah.
picture. I'm showing a picture of the craft beer festival with somebody holding a Magnum over their head, just absolute joy and elation on their face. I'm just like, this is absolutely wonderful. It's again everything I love about beer festivals, and so I knew I had to at least ask you if coming out to Sugar Belt would be something that you would be interested in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
man,
definitely. We're also currently looking at, we are also considering getting some products into the US market as well.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
that makes me really unfortunate that I gave up my mead my mead distribution license.
Oh yeah. You were distributing meat before?
Yeah, I had before used to live in Phoenix, Arizona, and I had a mead distribution license for, well, it's just an alcohol distribution. I could distribute anything I wanted, but I focused on craft meads, and I was trying to get some stuff, some imports, and trying to get a whole thing built up down there. But it was just bad timing. It was right after the pandemic. Shrams had just moved into the neighborhood. I was on Superstition's basically back door, so I had a lot of competition, and it was kind of rough, but you know, it's not to say that I can't do it again.
No.
So, but yeah, that would be awesome. I'm sure well, I know your product would do phenomenally here. People will go crazy for this stuff here.
We'll see if it happens. It would be fun to get a pallet over.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. So what's the future hold for Marlobobo? You guys got this new production facility. You don't have a tasting room there, right? Or like a tap room people can come drink at?
No, not at the moment. The problem is that we are considering this summer to start playing around with like a small tap room or you know, just being open a day or two a week and see if people want to have a tour and drink some mead. But the problem is we're not allowed to sell mead to go direct from our location.
So there's no direct to consumer sales whatsoever, not through a tasting room, even like by the glass or anything.
You can you can drink by the glass at the tasting room, but you can't like you bring a bottle home. As long as it's, I mean, if you want to bring a bottle home, it has to be below 4.7% alcohol.
Oh man, that's a really messed up law.
Yeah, it's not ideal. And we live in a small town, 10,000 people, and you know, it wouldn't really make sense having a business like that here, like for the locals. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But people might travel because I mean it's not far away from Oslo and other cities. But I don't know. It depends. We will try something out, see if people will show up, and maybe in the future we can have something more permanent. But
yeah. See here, Marlobobo says adding a hotel to the tasting room would probably be good. That's not a bad idea at all. See, there's silly ways here in America that they try to get away with things that workarounds like that. Like there's a guy who sells. I'm getting ready to talk to him in February. He doesn't have a license. He sells glassware, and with every glassware you get a free bottle of mead. So you're not paying for the mead, you're paying for the glassware. It just comes with a free bottle. Now the glassware is like $55, but you know, it's a slight consideration.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Man.
We are working on something, but we'll see if it works or not. But yeah, it's not the best location in terms of having people over all the time. So we will try to do something during summer first.
Hey, as long as people can buy your bottles and get your stuff, I think they'll be happy. A tasting room would just be, what would they say, icing on the cake, so to speak.
Yeah.
So one of the things I tried to check out, but my lack of speaking Norwegian really held me back, was you had several write-ups in publications throughout Norway. Are you a fairly big hitter in the mead industry there?
We're doing well in Norway, but the mead business is not very big here.
Sure.
We're 4 meaderies.
Oh.
Mjøderiet, Askheimer, and no, I can't remember the last ones. They newly opened.
Vikinger?
No. I know them. Now I can't remember it. Lost.
But still, only 4 meaderies. That's not very many.
Yeah, and Mjøderiet was the first ones to start, and then we started, and then Askheimer started right after, and then we have the 4th new one now. But yeah, all very small productions. I think we are the biggest one at the moment in terms of volume.
Gotcha.
I think, but I'm not quite sure.
Well, yeah, it's not like you go to their other production facilities all the time. Have you guys done any? You've done collabs with other facilities. Have you done with like a 2 Norwegian meadery collab?
We are going to do one with Mjøderiet. We just have been so busy with the new building and the production facility. I mean, the last
holiday season and everything.
Yeah. So, but we're planning to do that in the future, and we got some cool collabs in the works with different breweries, and hopefully we will do some more with US meaderies as well.
Oh yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the only bottle I haven't opened up yet is the Oceans Between Us, the one you did with Matt over at Funktastic Meads, and this is the cherry juice and raspberry mead he did with meadow foam blossom honey. Now this one, I had a sample of it at the Sugar Belt last year, and that is a phenomenal product as well. And to think if that's just the leftover juices that you guys didn't want, again, this free jazz is amazing. I know he says that in jest, but still, it's an amazing product that you guys put your hands on here. Everything that I've had today has been off the charts amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was good juice in that one as well. It was just pasteurized because it was the only way we could send it to the US.
Oh, I'm sure he's just teasing to give us shit, but no, that one's very, very awesome. You don't sell a lot of traditionals because there's not a lot of blending involved. Is that the way what I'm kind of picking up from your site here?
Like traditional meats?
Affirmative, yeah.
Yeah, we actually just started out doing a bit more of that.
Nice.
I think 3 months ago, we released a series of 5 traditionals called Penny Pollination. Like the series is called Penny Pollination. And there we used different honey varieties, like same recipe, same variables. The only variable that was different was the honey variety.
Okay. I'm looking back on your Instagram. I'm not seeing that one, but I'll have to. I'll have to look back.
I think I've forgotten about posting it, and it's an issue in Norway as well because the government will take that as advertisement even just saying it exists.
Really?
Yeah, it's
no wonder you're so low key with everything. Everything's on the quiet.
it's hard to speak about alcohol in Norway.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate.
Yeah. But
do you? Oh, we got another question that came in. We got a question that came here. It says, "Do you know Nemeton Brewing in the Netherlands?"
Who?
Nemeton, Nemeton, Nemeton. I there's an accent on there. I'm missing.
It sounded familiar.
Says we're a meadery that loves the stuff that Nerke makes. N-A-R-A with the umlauts over top of it. N-A-R-K-E. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm butchering the shit out of their question. I apologize.
I'm not sure I understood, but
you can retype it in the comment section there, and he can read it himself. Matabuma says they make very nice meads, though, so they got at least something I said came across somewhat. I heard I was mentioned a couple minutes ago. Oh, that's the other mead maker, right on. So, Marcus, that must be Meteor that you were talking about. Did I lose you? Hello? Did I lose you there?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay. I was
just browsing Instagram now.
No worries. My internet connection always fades out, so I was curious to make sure I didn't lose you there. But yeah, I'm sure that everybody's dying for this collab now that it's kind of out in the works. The word's out, and it looks like I've got 3 more Norwegian meaderies I need to go follow.
Yeah, do that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and more meaderies I need to try to talk to as well. Oh, cheers from Brazil. Gotta love that. Yeah. See, this whole month I was trying to talk to different meaderies from around the world, and you were one of the only people that got back to me. I was really it really bummed me out because I want to talk to as many different people. But yesterday I actually linked up with a place in India, so I'm excited to talk to them too.
Wow. Did they have multiple meaderies or just one, or do you know?
There are several meaderies in India. This one, Sarana, named after Apis cerana, the scientific name for the type of bee that they have there in India, their honeybee. They're in the Mumbai or near Mumbai, and it's 2 ladies that run it. They're both microbiologists in some respect. They both have doctorates in related fields, and I'm going to talk to them in March, and I'm really excited because they had some really fun things to say last night when I just talked with them for a second.
Cool.
I see Martin just popped on too.
Hey, Martin.
Yeah. So I'm definitely excited that I got to talk to you today. Marlobobo's Mega Bear non-fossil fuel blended bourbon barrel aged imperial stout. That's a mouthful. It's fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we are gonna make more bourbon barrel aged stouts, and we also have barrels full of barley wine, which is in rum barrels, bourbon barrels, maple syrup barrels, spent mead barrels, and there too we are doing the blending. I mean, we have 10 barrels full of different stuff, but we don't know what it will be yet. The blending will decide.
Yes. There was a meadery here, Lost Cause in San Diego. They just did a mead inside a soy sauce barrel.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah. I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I hear the body and character on it is absolutely just unique to try. I'm dying for it.
We actually sold a spent imperial stout barrel to like a bourbon barrel to a soy sauce producer. So
really? Oh, no, I'm here for that. I think that's a great idea. I'm here for all the unique collabs, the unique crossovers, whatever people want to call it. I'm here for all of that. You guys do barrel aged meads and stuff. I've seen like a gin barrel aged raspberry mead on there and a couple other things. And you mentioned you guys have a barrel aging program. Is that something that you're going to continue to expand on now that you again have the space?
Yeah, definitely. It's just that it's so costly to have
Oh yeah,
to barrel age meats. So you bind up a lot of money. But we will try to increase it as much as we can.
yeah.
We filled the rum barrel today with Fanal cherry mead,
Ooh,
actually.
ooh, yes,
Um,
that was delicious.
And last week we bottled 3 new barrel aged traditionals. One rum barrel aged, one bourbon barrel aged, and one Oloroso sherry barrel aged.
We had a question that says, "What about cryo meads? Is that to concentrate your fruit concentrations?"
Yeah, we do a series called Cryo. We initially did it with the Stenvsberry cherries,
Hmm.
just for fun, trying to make mead, which is like in the same process as making ice wine or
Yeah,
ice cider. So we freeze concentrate the fruit, a good way to concentrate, both the fruit character and flavor, but also, you will get more acids. You will need more honey to balance it. It will
sure.
be a much more dense product in the end. And by doing it the freeze concentration way, you won't really lose any aromatics like you would if you were boiling or something like that,
Wow.
like reducing. So we will actually, we have released the bourbon barrel aged Stenvsberry Cryo before.
Ooh, that sounds amazing.
It's pretty good, but soon we will bottle a double bourbon and a rum barrel aged version of it. So it's first been spending some time, almost a year in bourbon barrels, and then about a year in rum barrels afterwards.
That sounds so delicious and savory and like delicate. Like I want that right now in my face. I don't want to
So
wait.
it's the rum barrels we got were, I mean, they were out of this world. There were plantation plantation rum barrels, which
Whoa.
just smelled like floral, coconut, vanilla. Just like we just opened them, and all the room was filled with vanilla and coconut.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, so
Oh,
yeah, looking forward to release that one.
well, if you have trouble selling any bottles, you have several people. Martin says he'll take all the bottles. Marabumba says he'll take all the bottles. Everybody. So anytime you have bottles to get rid of, apparently you gotta ask.
It's good to
Man,
know.
yeah. Um, so you guys are just gonna basically continue to doing what you're doing, growing into your new space, and doing everything you can to not advertise your products, to not get your name out there, so people don't know who you are. I don't get the theory behind that in Norway. I mean, maybe some Norwegian bureaucrats can change that because that seems very counterproductive to the process.
Yeah, I mean that people will drink less alcohol if small if no one talks about alcohol. I
Nobody
think
will
people
drink it.
will drink less alcohol. But I mean, Norway has one of the worst drinking cultures, in my opinion, because
Oh,
people are not going out, to drink and have fun.
there's no
They're already drunk.
pub culture there.
No, people are already drunk before they are going out, and
Oh,
yeah, because that's cheaper. So everyone drinks
true.
at home together and then goes out.
I got you. Yeah, that's fairly common here in America too, especially with, that's more of like a younger person's thing, a college age thing to go they call
Yeah.
it, pre-funk, party at home and then go out, and so you don't have to pay as much for your drinks. But I mean, just the fact that you can't even advertise your stuff to a respectable degree. They should even give you guys a discount if you're going to sell it outside of the country. It's like, hey, we're exporting our sin, man. Give us a break.
Yeah, I mean, it's so weird, and
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think saying that you have like, okay, here's Stenvsberry Free Jazz. It's a new product of ours. It's made
Yeah.
like this. That's not advertising. It's product information.
Right.
Yeah, but
And unfortunately, it seems like you have those people that are willing to take up that argument against you on that.
yeah, there's been some cases in Norway in the last year. So see how
That hurts.
that turns out.
That hurts my heart for you, man. I really do. I hope that can change for you guys, because that's really that's a real bummer. I was hoping to hear some much better things, like you guys were on the forefront of breaking through into this whole big grand thing over there, and then to find out you can't even mention your name. It's like V for Vendetta over there. Don't even whisper the name, otherwise you're going to jail.
Yeah, almost.
That's really unfortunate, man. But
Yeah.
I think I've taken up enough of your time today. I appreciate you so much for joining me, and I would love to again speak with you in the future. Maybe again meet up at. And if you're serious about that sugar belt things, I will certainly get the balls rolling and get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah, I would be happy to hear more about it. And
Awesome.
as we are not booked anywhere else at that time,
Yeah.
would be cool to go to the US.
Awesome, man. Thank you. I'll pass that information along. And again, thank you so much. I'm sorry that the video didn't come through. Maybe you can watch on a replay and see my goofy smiles and my cheesy grin the whole time, as I'm just like a kid in a candy store.
Thank you for all the kind words and the good conversation.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you for the phenomenal meads and the great conversation as well. I look forward to speaking with you in the future too.
Yeah, likewise.
Awesome. Everybody who's not following Marlobobo, go do that now. Give them a follow and do your best to advertise for them, because they can't advertise their stuff. Shares, follows, likes, all that stuff helps out.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Have a nice evening as well. All right, everybody. That was a phenomenal talk with the cat, Marius from Marlobobo there in Norway. I'm hesitating saying anything because I don't want to get him thrown in jail. I like this guy. He makes a phenomenal mead beverage. Thank you again to everybody who was here today. I appreciate all the conversation. It was phenomenal talking with this man and getting to talk and read all the comments and everything. My next interview is going to be on Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up. I can't remember, 6th, 7th is tomorrow, 8th, 9th, so I think it's the 10th, with my friend Tony at Amusenkab Meadery, trying to continue the theme of international meaderies, from me anyway, here in America, out of Guadalajara, Mexico. He makes some phenomenal meads down there, does a mole mead, so if you've ever heard of mole and you know what that is, have it in mead form is a unique experience, and it's very cool. So follow him as well. See me on Wednesday. Go give me a follow. I'd appreciate that. Everybody else, have a phenomenal evening, day, wherever it is. Appreciate you all. Peace.